say rock is dead, the guitar is outdated, and AI is the new Hendrix. Well, grab your overpriced boutique pedal and sit down because I'm here to spit fire and melt faces. Because guitar isn't dead. It's just been hijacked by Instagram shredders, bedroom tone snobs, and algorithm chasing loopers. Let's talk about the truth they won't tell you. Because I'm not here to play polite. I'm here to plug in, turn up, and burn it down. The myth of the guitar is dead. Every decade, some tech bro declares the guitar dead. Meanwhile, someone's still selling a $6,000 Strat that's been through a wood chipper and calling it relic. Look, I get people all the time in the comments saying the guitar thing is done, it's over, it's like 1940s, swing and all that. And look, man, I get it. Trends come and go. And just like in talking to Dan Huff on my channel, and in the 80s, it was all about the huge rack tones and tons of chorus on your clean tone and tons of gain on your crunch tones and swimming and reverb and all that stuff. Well, guess what? That stuff is now back in. That thing that we all had to abandon, now people are trying to cop that tone. It all comes back around, right? Just like the Stray Cats were able to mine the rockabilly field and bring it into the 80s with much success, the same thing will be for guitar music. I think that the guitar is inherently the instrument of the United States. And yes, it's incredibly popular in England and across Europe and Brazil and all across the world. People are playing guitars. Do I think that companies are making too many guitars these days? Yes. And I'm saying that as a guy who owns a lot of guitars. But the reality is, yes, I do think that there are too many guitars out there right now. I do feel like things are overpriced. I do feel like we need to get guitars in the hands of people that are young. We need to make sure that younger people embrace real music, right? Because yes, it's very easy to type a prompt into an AI program and have it spit out some, formulaic simulation of some groove that somebody came up with 30 years ago. The reality is we need real human interaction. We need real human music. And the guitar is probably the most human instrument there is. Maybe a violin would be even more, but the electric guitar is so sensitive to the human touch. And especially if you amp it up with gain and then you play it in certain ways, the more you attack it, the nuances, all of those things are what make it inherently human and inherently part of the American sound. All right? If the guitar is dead, why are people still fighting over clones like it's the last bottle of water in the desert? Now look, the very real thing of the AI invasion, you know what? AI music is out there. You can't stop it. You're going to have people who think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread because they're unable to make something professional sounding with the gear. Maybe they don't have the talent level. Maybe they don't have the gear, whatever it is, or maybe they just don't have the know-how, right? But here's the deal. AI can write a solo, sure, but it doesn't sweat, bleed, or blow a note under pressure like a human. You can't code feel. And it's the feel, the human feel of someone actually playing a guitar, the human feel of someone putting their emotion into the guitar, right? A great player can say things with his instrument that no AI could ever write. There is no way that AI can match the real human emotion of someone who is giving you a moment in time. We have to keep alive improvised music because improvised music is the last bastion of humanity. You know, when you improvise, you're not always perfect. When you improvise, there are plenty of chances for mistakes. And when you improvise, you put yourself, you walk the plank of musical expression, right? You could very easily fall off into shark infested waters. But here's the deal. We need to keep improvisation and real music alive, right? It is necessary if humanity is going to survive, then we have to keep the realness in music. People that can't tell the difference, they can have their AI songs. They've been listening to what sounds like AI music anyway on their pop radio. But for the rest of us out there, we want to hear the sound of a real guitar plugged in and played by a real human being. Let the robots play Dream Theater covers. I'll stick to playing soul through a clean amp that smells like spilled beer and broken dreams. Now, here's the deal. There are tone snobs, bedroom rock gods, and gear hoarders. And maybe gear hoarder, maybe I'm guilty as charged. Some players have 50 pedals and still no tone. It's not your board, it's your hands, bro. You don't need a 4K amp sim. You need a band, a room, and to stop tweaking and start playing. Now, that is probably the best advice that I can possibly give you. Stop tweaking and start playing. You know, I've come to find that the gear that I love the most, it sounds great from the jump. I turn it on and I don't immediately want to adjust anything. And, you know, you often have option paralysis with a lot of modern gear, endless tweaking, going through parameters, trying this. Oh, you know, you could literally spend hours doing that. And the more time you do that, the less time you play. Plug into a good old tube amplifier like those I have back there and just enjoy the sound and the smell of those tubes cooking. You know, that is something, man. There's something to be said about that. Not even putting a pedal in between you and the amp. We've all had to play gigs where our pedal board goes down, something in the chain is off, and we have to quickly, in the middle of a song, go straight out of our guitar, straight into our amplifier, and we have to make it work. And that is a lesson for all guitar players out there. If you haven't experienced that yet on a gig, trust me, it will be a life-changing experience because you'll either see whether you're ready to play with nothing and make it sound great, or whether you struggle to get through that situation. And I think all professional guitar players go through that moment and learning to navigate, hey, maybe I'll just crank the amp up and roll back the volume knob and work it that way. And that's probably the easiest solution I can say for being in that type environment. You know, learn how to control a cranked amp. It's an art, right? Playing through, kids these days have no idea what it's like to hear the roar of a 412 cab and a 100-watt tube head. They have no idea how to control that much power. And maybe someday we can get back to the point where you start seeing those 412 cabs and those heads cranked on stage and not an aux box or a load box or anything in sight, because that is where you learn how to control an amp and a guitar it's really two beasts working together. And that is the most real thing you can ever experience. Playing guitar in your bedroom is great. Playing guitar in a room is great. But trust me, that amazing sound that you get out of your bedroom, it doesn't always translate when you take it and try to make that work in a band context. These are all things you learn from doing it. Young players, stop chasing Instagram likes and start chasing groove. You don't become a legend by playing fast. You become one by playing right. And that is true. Learn your songs. Don't get caught on stage with your pants down, meaning do not get up there not knowing the material, right? No, learn as much as you can going into a gig. Always try to be over prepared. But understand this, and I've said this many times on this channel, 98% of the time, you're going to be playing rhythm guitar and playing the same chords over and over again. While that may work for some songs, you're going to need to learn how to make it feel good, how to make it sound good, and be able to mix up your rhythms to adjust to playing with the rhythm section that you're playing with that day. Learning how to make it feel good so that your singer looks back and goes, man, this band is really tight, or this groove is really kicking, or I really like the spice of the rhythm guitar that you're playing to accompany a singer. That is going to make more difference than all the likes that you got on Instagram for playing that super shreddy, super fast thing. You want to be great? Put down the TikTok and pick up the metronome. That's going to help you get your groove together. Play with drum machines, play with records, and try to play with the best musicians that you possibly can. I always like to play with guys that are better than me. They're going to elevate me. They're going to give me a nice bed to play over when I'm soloing. And I'm going to learn way more playing with great players than just settling for playing with whoever's available that night. Now, the guitar still matters. The guitar is rebellion in wood and wire. It's protest and poetry. You can't cancel that with the code. Every time someone says guitar is dead, a kid in a garage picks one up and starts a band. That's the circle of six-string life. So yeah, they can keep their AI jams, 40-minute plug-and-play pedal demos, and copycat influencer chords. I'll be right here, sweating through solos, chasing tone like it owes me money, and keeping the guitar alive one riff at a time. Because rock isn't dead. It's just waiting for someone brave enough to make it dangerous again. Are you in?